my buoys. This video is all about lower, lower and lower, flying lower. And eventually foot dragging. Of course, the opening title there was a guy called Woody who comes down our field, and he can actually fly below the Earth's surface. Okay, so let's talk about the theory of foot dragging. Yeah, I'd seen the Jeff Goyne DVD that explains a bit about it. My instructor had also talked about it. I didn't anticipate doing this year at all, but it just happened. We work at it bit by bit, going lower and lower, and basically you're using your brakes to control your height. So you introduce more brakes, you get more lift, you let off the brakes and you go down. It's a very, very delicate balancing act, if you like, to get the right speed, momentum and control to enable you to drag your foot across a field or some water or whatever you're going to do. But of course, as you introduce brake, then you slow the wing down. So to compensate for that, you have to add some power. Or conversely, if you lift off the brakes, then you're going to gain speed. So you need to reduce the power. And of course, the engine accelerates and deaccelerates slightly slower than you can use the brakes. And that's why we use the brakes to control our speed. Normally in flight, we'd probably use our throttle to go up and down and all that sort of business. Anyway, I put together a small animation to kind of explain this. So yeah, we're starting the process off, we're going down much the same as we're landing, and as we start to get close to the floor, I introduce a little bit of throttle in anticipation of the brake pull, and we kind of round out a little bit. So now we're kind of dragging across the floor, we've gone a bit too high, so we release the brakes, and now we've gone too low, and we pull the brakes back up and introduce a bit more throttle to compensate for the speed we're burning off. And that's kind of the process. Now, so here I am in my first flight, and you can see, speed it up slightly there, how much you're weaving about. There's very little control, you're all over the place. This is flight 3 or 5 or something, and yeah, it's better, but we're still kind of up and down and side to side, overcompensating. So many things we're doing wrong, and now of course we're on to about flight 18 here, and you can see I'm probably flying about 20 foot off the ground. Oh dear, and we start to rock again, and we've kind of aborted it. Always abort, of course. If it goes wrong, it's pretty easy to do, really. Just hit the throttle and go up. Again, flight 18, and getting lower and lower here. You can see me, and I think I was pulling too much brake at this point, and I managed to stall the wing, and I just basically got dumped on my knees. My GoPro battery fell off. I got to pick it up, and yeah, it disappeared in the field somewhere. So flight 20, and you can see here we're probably about 10 feet off the ground, because the GoPro's basically sitting on a table here, so we're slightly higher than the table. You can see there the horizon, and you'll see the next one we are a lot lower. So we're probably about the height of a tabletop now, about 5 feet, working towards it. A little bit of gusts, and so this is flight 23, and you can see here a little bit of rocking going on, but we're now getting down to just a couple of feet above the ground there. And this was a great sensation, just flying across this field, just a few feet above the ground, almost touching it there. Possibly did my first foot drag that day. The other side of the field is basically a gate, and I was just checking there was no traffic coming before I slipped through it. So this is flight 25, and we've got a bag here set up on the ground here, so we can swoop down and pick it up. Unfortunately, I've got no footage of me picking it up, but I definitely picked it up, because as soon as I picked it up, I thought, Jesus Christ, now what do I do with it? How do I kick it off? Whoops. But it was such a great feeling to whiz round that field and fly out the end of it. So here you can see me coming into land, and basically boom, on my knees, and all this low work really did help me. So this is flight 28, and you can just see Martin there, my flight buddy, flying along in front of us, and got 2 GoPros set up here, so we captured a really nice foot drag on this day. Managed to do 3 good landings, absolutely fantastic. to do another circuit. Fantastic. In conclusion, what did we learn? So don't rush things. Don't rush things. Whatever you do, don't rush things. Start off at a safe altitude. 100 feet, 200 feet, 50 feet, 20 feet, 10 feet. Just gain all that control. Don't go any lower than you feel you're capable of going. I didn't. Despite what, you know, I'm wearing this stupid helmet and a silly sign. I am a pretty sensible person. Well, some people may disagree. But anyway, yeah, take it easy. Don't push yourself. Don't try and show off in front of other people. This wasn't done. This wasn't even planned. This wasn't even on my radar this year. I was quite interested in how it was done, but I just really didn't think this year. I didn't go, oh yeah, I really like to do foot drags this year before being able to land. It just happened, really. Take it easy. Don't go beyond your abilities, really. The other thing is always do it into wind. So if you do, you know, you don't want a tailwind or a side wind, really. Keep one foot out just in case you get dumped, and then you can roll onto it and then start to run. Run. Ah, Jesus. I tried to do that, but I ended up on my knees. But when, you know, I got dumped in the ground, it really didn't hurt. Of course, another thing, I'm doing it in the winter. The ground is soft. You know, if I did it in the middle of summer and there was a drought and the ground was hard, it probably would hurt a lot more. Pick good weather days. Don't use it. Do it in gusts. And of course, great skills learned. Level flight control. That probably means I can start to do power on landings and all that sort of business. Despite what, you know, I'm wearing this stupid helmet and a silly sign. I am a pretty sensible person.